Nigel Farage doesn't care about anything but Nigel Farage. Was it last week he was saying, I'm going to support Trump, and now all of a sudden Trump is found guilty, so he's had to flip-flop from, I can't support this guy anymore.
Well, it depends what is meant by support, doesn't it? I mean, Nigel Farage is not going to suddenly stand up and say he's voting for Biden or wants to vote for Biden, is he?
No, that's completely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Nigel Farage thought he could pin his colours to Trump, but as soon as Trump is found guilty, all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm not going to lead the party because I put me cards with Trump. Mm-hmm. And then all my cards have now been completely washed away because Trump is guilty. So, okay, guys, I need a... I
see the point. I see the point.
Okay, so the point is that all he is power and notoriety hungry. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything. He's exactly the same as Trump. All he wants is his own profile to be bigger than it is. So we'll hang his colours on any single opportunity that will increase his profile.
Posed a question or asked earlier, what does Farage offer to you? And for me, it's hope. It really is hope. I believe Nigel Farage completely reads the political room like no one else. And
on every issue?
Pretty much. There's not much that he says that I can say, well, I couldn't agree with.
But do you know what he thinks about the country's education system?
I know he's critical of Labour's, plan on the private schools and the.
But I mean his plan, because I think the reason I ask is he has hobby horse subjects, doesn't he, as a politician? And I wonder whether that's problematic for some people, that they actually want somebody to step back from their hobby horse and say, well, look, if I'm asking you for my vote, it's going to be so that all of your issues in your family are on my mind, not just immigration. You know what I mean?
Very fair point. Yeah. And do the Conservatives ever ask themselves a question though? Why are we just leaking such massive amount of voters to reform? What is the issue?
I'm sure they do ask that question.
I do believe, Sheila, that the key to solving this immigration situation is we need to leave that EHCR. Okay. Now, when that was brought in, it was just after the Second World War. And it's completely not fit for purpose now. I was talking to two lads the other day in an Ibis hotel, and they were persecuted. They lost their father, flew from Eritrea. Their dad got dragged out. He was a church pastor, dragged out the church. They'd never seen him again, and they fled to this country for genuine asylum, and we should welcome them with open arms. That's what it should be about. We should never.
That's what it is about.
My own family we're persecuted French Huguenots from the 17th century. We landed on these shores, and thank goodness that we this country was there in such times. But we have to. The elephant in the room is that most and a lot of these young men coming over, they are just young men that want a cracking life.
Hang on. What's your evidence for that, though? Because your Huguenot descendants were young men as well, some of them. When they came over, what's wrong with young men?
They were families. There were families that were being persecuted and driven away because of their faith, as the Reformation and everything was cracking.
Yeah, but they didn't all come as families.
I'm astonished actually by the stupidity of anybody who would vote Reform. They will not get in. I doubt they'll get a single seat. They never have. No, not under as UKIP or as the Brexit Party. They've only had, I think, an MP who crossed the floor, who was already, I think, a Conservative. And the fact is that all the things they promise, they can't deliver. And okay, so what? Do the people who really want them want Labour with what Labour will do, who are the complete opposite of what they say they want. And all Rishi Sunak has to do is really out-reform them. To reform in a better way.
How do you out-reform UK, David?
You out-reform the Reform Party by providing realistic reforms that you can make. So whatever they're promising, you promise a better version, a more realistic version, and you show that, yes, and I think Rishi Sunak actually is the best authority to do that, because he can say, right, we had all these crises. We had Brexit, which we didn't take advantage of under Boris Johnson. We had a Truss fiasco, which I warned you about before she got in, and I then spent the next month cleaning up. I didn't have a mandate to do the reform that needs to be done, which starts in the House of Commons. It starts with MPs. And if you vote for me, I will clear these things up. So when you want to talk about reform, don't waste your vote on somebody who will never get in. In their wildest dreams, they would get 5 seats, and that would be nothing. They would be have less consequence than the Greens. And the fact is that nothing they're saying can actually be delivered. So what
reform? If
you want to punish Sunak, hold him to ransom with his MPs, to actually write to your MP and say, this is what I
want.
David,
isn't Richard Tice and aren't Nigel Farage and Richard Tice, aren't they tapping into something that I think quite a lot of people feel, which is actually two things. The first is they just don't feel excited about Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer. They don't feel invigorated by them. They don't feel they're offering any real change. That's the sort of first thing that they're tapping into. The second one is a lot of people don't feel they're that different, that actually whether it's Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer, they're offering much of the same.
I think there's a fundamental difference, which is, in one word, competence. Right. I think Keir Starmer can't make a decision until he's had a committee meeting, and he's got no, basically he won't actually say he pressed the nuclear button if he needed to.
He did say that. He did say that today. He did, David. He did say that today. He said that. He said that outright.
He said, I'll do what's necessary.
Yeah, but that means he'll press it. I mean, it's one of those ridiculous debates that come up in elections.
It absolutely doesn't. When it comes to it, you need to be unequivocal and say, if Russia launches even a tactical nuclear weapon, we will back NATO.
But David, he's not going to go on TV in a general election campaign and tell Vladimir Putin the conditions on which he would or wouldn't launch a nuke, is he?
Because he's backing Britain.
Who is?
Nigel.
How?
Nigel. He's putting the British values there first. And
so can you talk? I love that phrase. I like it a lot, actually, James. Can we go through what you think they are?
Yeah. So if I go on holiday to Dubai,
I want British values, not theoretical holidays. That. So what are British values?
This is what I'm about to say. If you let me finish.
Of course.
If I go to Dubai, I respect Muslim laws. I will fully respect it. You don't drink in public. You're not allowed to walk around with your top off if you go through the hotel lobby. But I find it funny that you're getting a lot of people that are coming over here who don't want to follow the British values of respect, looking after the society, looking after your home. They're coming across and wanting to change our rules
and how
we live. Well, I think Nigel's pretty...
And which rules? Give me an example of a real person trying to change a real rule.
Well, you look at Sadiq Khan. He's implementing a lot of rules that a lot of his Muslim voters are wanting.
Like what?
The one in Sharia law.
Sorry, Sadiq Khan has introduced Sharia law?
No, he would back Sharia law.
Where do you get that claim from, mate?
He said it.
You think Sadiq Khan has said that he wants to introduce Sharia law?
He would back it.
Okay, what do you think?
If that was on the table.
What do you think Sharia law is?
I'm not going to get into that. You know what Sharia law is.
Well, I know that on things like divorces and domestic disputes, some people are happy to have their cleric, if you like, sit in a form of adjudication, but that can't be what you're objecting to. So what is it you think Sadiq Khan has publicly backed that you're troubled by?
No, I'm saying that Sadiq Khan would back Sharia law.
Yes, but what do you mean by the phrase, in that context, what do you mean by the phrase Sharia law? Because if you're saying that he would back something I don't know, like chopping people's arms off for shoplifting, then you'd have to be able to provide some evidence, wouldn't you?
I listened to the interview tonight with Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer, and I think Rishi Sunak wiped the floor with Keir Starmer.
Wiped the floor with, do you think? What makes you say that, Sylvia?
I found that he was cool, calm and collective, and it just give his points of view, what he would do for this country. You might say, well, he's had 14 years to do that. But I'm telling you, the country seems to be getting back on his feet, and I think with Keir Starmer, it will go the other way, and that's just. But
that's literally the pitch from Rishi Sunak, isn't it? That's literally the pitch from Rishi Sunak. We're going in the right direction. He's going to make it. He's going to take us back to square one. What do you think's going in the right direction right now, Sylvia? Because a lot of people don't see it and don't feel it at all.
The trouble with people is, we can't. All people, you won't make all people happy. And what it is, they're thinking, well, they've had 14 years and, there's nothing improved. This is how they're thinking. And they're thinking, well, we'll sweep the room with a new broom. And when he comes in, he'll make everything rosy.
But are they wrong to think that? Are they wrong to think that 14 years later things have got worse, not better?
Well, you might say that, but all I'm saying...
I'm not saying that, Sylvia. I'm asking you whether you think things have got better in this country since 2010.
The trouble about it is we've had problems. We've had COVID and whatever, and there've been setbacks. But the thing is, we've coped, but I'm just thinking, if I thought that Keir Starmer were going to get in power, to me, it would upset me because it would upset the apple cart, and I don't think that...
But a lot of people say the apple cart is already completely upturned. The apples are all rolling down the street.
I'm really quite shocked that your guest doesn't think that this will matter, that this lie won't be greater than have a greater impact.
She didn't say it didn't matter. She said it would be interesting to see the degree to which it does matter to people.
Well, I've been looking at all the TV and radio stations today, and every single one on the bulletins, this is blaring out. Even if you just get in the car and put on a music channel, if you're not political, it'll be on the news channel. And then tonight on the evening news, it'll be on the news channel. And I just got a message from a friend who said, that her mother-in-law, who is not political at all and didn't watch the debate, all she knew about it was that Rishi Sunak had told a big lie last night, and that's all she knows about the debate, that Rishi lied and that she doesn't like that. So, I think this will have great impact. And the fact that Sunak came into office saying integrity, professionalism and accountability, and he said trust is earned and I will earn yours. This kind of thing is what we were sick of with Johnson, and this just taints Sunak now with Johnsonian levels of that he'll go to any length.
So for you, it's as serious as that. He just looked you, the nation, in the eye and lied, in your view.
Yeah, I mean, if you can lie so blatantly when even the head of the civil service in the Treasury had specifically contacted him to say, please don't repeat this, that we have signed this off. That's what the letter said. Please don't do that. Yeah. And he did it anyway. If he can do that so blatantly, and then Claire Coutinho go out this morning and repeat it yet again, if they can lie about that, I mean, well, how can we trust anything they say now before the election?
So for you...
But what do you take, as you obviously remembered your grandfather, what did you take from the events yesterday then, Lee, as I said, personally?
It's just amazingly organised, amazingly beautiful. I mean, some of the speeches were just heart-rending. There's tears, there's laughter, the events through the towns in France. Yeah, there's 100,000 people over here, Nick, right? I mean, it's just an amazing experience. I mean, it's extraordinary. And the respect and the decency and the honour was not represented by our Prime Minister. And I am ashamed, I'm disgusted, and the noise here in these crowds, in these beaches, okay, is this person should not be the Prime Minister of this country anymore. He should resign. That was a disgusting decision yesterday. and it is across the beaches, Nick. I'm not kidding, right?
No, I hear you, sir. I hear you.
It's just shameful. It's absolutely shameful. Zelensky was there. This is the guy that's cutting support to Ukraine by 50% this year, right? 6 billion to 3 billion. Zelensky's here. Biden's here. Macron's here. You've got 25 world leaders on the beach. These are Americans, Canadians, Dutch, Belgians. What the hell is he doing going back to do a TV interview? I don't care about the apology. I don't accept it. No one here does. We had a wonderful time. He decided to ruin it. He needs removing from this office.